Hey, listen up. We got another episode of Wise Kracks, featuring the crack man himself, Bill Krackenberger, and our co-host, John Orlando, straight from Las Vegas. Wise Kracks is your ticket inside the world of sports betting, with tips, picks, special guests, and more. Only on WSN.com.
Welcome back to another week of Wise Kracks. The NFL playoffs are in full swing. Sadly, the helmet over my shoulder is not going to be participating in any more games, Bill Krackenberger. I guess I got it wrong. The Cowboys are not going to win the Super Bowl this year. Go ahead. I know you want to say it.
No.
It's okay.
Boy, Dak came out looking bad in the end, though. I don't know.
Terrible.
He made some comments about the referees and maybe he made some media things and made him look bad. Of course, he apologized, but what else is he going to do?
Did you watch the game?
Yeah.
I know you can't say that a game comes down to the last play, obviously, because there's 4 whole quarters. But the 15 penalties obviously didn't help things. But they still have a chance by freak of, all these crazy occurrences happening. Comes down to the last play. I think there was 13 seconds on the clock or something. Doesn't it seem crazy for him to run down the field like that? I get it. The ref got in the way, whatever, and he probably should have had time if the ref wasn't in the way. But why not just take 2 shots at the end zone instead of?
Yeah,
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder who called that play.
Right. Was it him or right?
Right. Did he do an audible or something? I don't know. Did he see a hole, figuring he can get 20 yards and get one quick play? I mean, the way they ended the game really frustrated a lot of people.
That's a bad way to end the season. Yeah.
End the season. But, he'll still get his $40 million a year and being one of the highest paid players in all of sports in general. So, but he didn't really play it. He didn't look good. He didn't look good couple games here at the end of the season.
No, you're right. And you said it. Yeah. I mean, you said that they didn't look good the last few games, and you were right.
Yeah.
Even though they won some of them, they still didn't look great, and those kind of situations, it really, for me, it's like, it reminds you not to, be on the Brady train every time, but like Tom Brady finds the end zone in those situations, like the Aaron Rodgers, and I'm not trying to kick Dak when he's down. I'm a fan, but that's the difference between Montana and Young and Favre, and right. It's like those guys they get there in the end.
Yeah,
right.
They get there in the end. It's true. It really is true. We're going to see now some of the creams rising to the top. Let's see if Buffalo is who we thought they were at the beginning of the season. There's a lot of teams that came out. Kansas City came out this weekend and just dominated competition. So these are the teams that were supposed to do good earlier in the year that had, some stutter steps along the way. Buffalo, I think the record was, I think they lost 7 games or something, like ridiculous.
Right.
But even Tennessee losing to they think they knocked me out of the survivor pool. I lost to Houston, I think.
Yeah.
So these teams, there's not really a dominant team still, but this particular last week, a couple of that dominance was showed by some of the teams that were supposed to have dominance early in the year. And listen, if they're going to have that kind of dominance now's the time to do it during the playoffs. If you had that on your squad, this is the time for it to shine. So,
were you shocked that Buffalo stepped up the way they did?
Probably, yeah. I thought, they don't forget Buffalo and New England played 2 games literally in the last month or 5 weeks, and they were pretty competitive games both ways. One, each team winning a game. So you thought it was going to be a more competitive game. I was actually. I'm glad. I even though the Belichick's one of the greatest coaches of all time, I'm a guy that David Goliath, always rooting for the underdogs, probably. So I'm actually glad that Buffalo dominated them like that. I don't know the real story behind the letting go Brady, but I would think a coach of his tenure, ability, being one of the best of all time, I would think he'd have a lot of say with the management and, the GM, the owner, of whether to, get rid of Brady and Gronk and kind of dismantle the team a little bit. So I would think that he had part of that. So this is maybe a little payback, even though it wasn't from Brady. But obviously, last year Tampa Bay winning the Super Bowl was real payback. But so I was kind of rooting against them anyway.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
I just didn't think they were going to dominate them like that. Really, Buffalo really stepped up. Really did.
Did you happen to see Ryan Fitzpatrick celebrating in the crowd with no shirt on, like going crazy?
I've seen a clip before the show.
I think Travis, are you playing that clip or? I mean, you gotta love it. Just mix.
Are we sure that's him?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
And that's up there in Buffalo. And nice weather. He's got the shirt off at 0 degrees.
He's a man of the people. Yeah. Pretty crazy. So this weekend, though, some exciting matchups.
Yes, this weekend I took a screenshot of the current lines right before we came on here. And so Tennessee playing Cincinnati. Tennessee opened up 3. They're now 3.5. They have the extra bye. They have Henry coming back. So I don't know if he's up to 100% of himself, but he is there, even if it's for morale. Hopefully he'll play well and he's okay. But this line is actually 4 at one of the sports books that I respect out in Vegas, the Westgate. So definitely Tennessee money here in this game. And we're going to see. We're going to see how Cincinnati can perform this weekend as an underdog against one of the teams that is rested. And Tennessee and Green Bay, they're like the big strong rested team. So we're going to see what's going to happen here. That should be these are fun games to watch. I actually enjoy watching playoff football.
Yeah,
I'll let you know. I enjoy that.
I have a theory. I don't like resting. I think it works against you. I like momentum. I'm a momentum believer. I don't like that they rest.
Yeah,
it makes me nervous.
And that's what the coaching staff of Green Bay thought, because that's the next game is Green Bay, San Fran. Green Bay played, the main starters in the last game versus Detroit almost the whole entire game. Even though they lost, they were in there. Whether they were going full strength or they did play, but Detroit actually did beat them. So Green Bay opened up 4. They're up to 6. The biggest move of the week is Green Bay. Everyone backing Green Bay. And, I'll tell you, I'm not going to have a bet on the game, but I wouldn't be so quick to pick Green Bay. I think that San Fran sets up well for them. But, again, if I thought it was so well, I'd put a bet on the game. You guys really don't bet too many NFL sides. Game's up to 6. I see +7 minus 30 on an alternate line. Pretty interesting line there to get, to beat you by more than a touchdown. A team that's been rolling, the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah. And speaking of momentum, right? Wins. You beat the Cowboys at home. I mean, that's,
Oh, yeah. That should be a fun game. That's Saturday's games, and that's going to be a night game on the East Coast here, a night game. Now, going into Sunday, we have Tampa Bay, which opened. That's funny, that game when the Rams were on Monday night. Let's call it Monday Night Football. That's what it was. They threw the game on a Monday night for many reasons, many financial, I'm sure too. But so when the Rams were dominating Arizona, I was wondering what the line was going to be set. I said 3, maybe 3.5, knowing that the public's going to bet Tampa Bay anyway. Very surprised to see the Westgate was the first line I seen come up -2.5. Then William Hill came up -2.5. And I was very surprised to see that. So this was it stayed there for a while. Money line was -140. I questioned some of my guys that I work with, and right away they said, yes, well, Tampa Bay is really banged up, which I knew. I knew there's a lot of guys missing. Really banged up, and he doesn't have a lot of his weapons. He doesn't, even on defense, they're banged up. They're a hurt squad. So we're going to see how much heart they have this season with these guys. Oh, by the way, the line did go to 3, just like I thought it was going to go to 3. And then quickly, the sharper sports books took money on the dog here on the Rams. And I'll say that's where the sharper money is, because if you're going to lay the 3 now, if you're going to take the 3 now, it's no longer -110 anywhere, -115, -120. So the sharper money's on the dog right now. Let's go to the final game, the Sunday night game, 6:30 p.m. East Coast time here. Kansas City over Buffalo opened up 2.5. still sits around there, 2.5. Maybe another surprise game. Surprise Buffalo. I'm surprised at Kansas City. Maybe the home team is not at 3 because the public likes to bet these home teams, especially the Mahomes, the bigger names.
Right.
But Buffalo's no one to after last week's dominating game. That's what the fans remember. That's what people remember.
Yeah.
Sometimes I talked about this on a show this morning. Sometimes our eyes lie to us. So you'll see something and live in the moment and immediately bet based on that game, not thinking long-term or not thinking that Buffalo lost 7 games this year. So
right.
It's not the dominant team that we thought it was going to be, like I said earlier in our show. So, however, if I lean anywhere here, out of all 4 games, I like Buffalo the best out of all
really
the games. Yeah, I would like Buffalo over Kansas City. I think that Kansas City is not the team they used to be.
I agree.
This team struggled. This team struggled here 6 weeks ago to beat the Giants on I think it was Monday Night Football.
Yeah,
20-17.
For sure, but I feel like they've looked like if there's a time to start getting hot, I feel like that's been happening lately. And then with the experience. Yep. He looked pretty good this past weekend.
That's probably why I won't be betting it. But I'm just saying out of all the 4 games, that would be the strongest dog I lean to.
What's the money line on that? Do you know?
Around minus 130, 125, 130. It's pretty low.
Wow.
Yeah, you could bet the money line there.
See, I feel like I take that.
It's good to know. Thank you.
Tell me. Tell me more. Why?
No, that's the way the public is probably.
That seems like a bargain, Bill.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah,
KC minus 130 or whatever? I'll take that.
Yeah.
No? Super Bowl champ a couple years ago. Mahomes. Contract.
Yep. And it could come out, easily.
Right.
This year is a year anything can and will happen. So, it sounds like that's the way you're going to be going. But more importantly, this will be a fun week to watch. This is a really fun week.
This is the week that's more exciting than Super Bowl, right? These games, kind of, right? Because the road to get there is just always more fun. It just feels like there's more on the line. Obviously, you want to win the big game, but
it is. It should be fun.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll see what happens in those 4 games. And listen, this is
he looks so happy.
There's other ways to attack these games. Totals, proposition bets. That's the way I like to attack them. I actually thought I may lean to the Buffalo over there. I don't know yet, but it's lined at 54. It quickly went to 55 when a syndicate hit it over.
Right.
Went back down to 54 now. So I think it'd be interested to know what the line is come Sunday. And there should be a lot of points scored in that game if it plays out like it's supposed to. We'll see what happens.
Is there any chance during the playoffs like this weekend you will have at least one parlay going, one parlay, nothing, no parlay?
No.
For me, not even like a fun just to say, all right, I did a parlay, Jono, and here's what I hit it. Or 3 for 3.
No.
Not even
the seasons. Sometimes during the season, I would have maybe a favorite and over.
Yeah.
That I play if it's a big enough favorite where you think they're going to blow them out in the first half. But these toward the playoffs, you don't have no big lines like that. So, but no, I don't think there's anything real dominating as far as one of these 2 teams. One of these 8 teams. I'm sorry, one of these games.
Explain that though for us action junkies. If you're going to bet, let's say you'll probably have 5 or 6 bets this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Okay. At least.
Yeah.
So
you're not allowed to parlay props though. So.
Oh, right. Why can't you?
Well, because some of them could be correlated, and they're just scared of prop betting. Let's just face it.
Got it.
Books, it's
I forgot you can't parlay props.
Bets. Yeah, they're just scared of. Obviously, like a good correlated parlay, obviously would be even Brady over and the over in the game.
Right.
If he throws 400 yards,
sure.
Chances are there's a lot of scoring going on.
Right.
Or Brady over and the Tampa Bay team total over the total points.
Right.
That would be a good correlated parlay, but they don't allow you to do that. They
So
don't if one thing happens, the other.
If they did let you bet props, parlay props, you probably would though.
Some of the sports books may allow that now with the same game parlays they do.
Right.
They're not the best odds, though. Not the best odds. You're going to get penalized a little bit because they know that you're betting something that you pay. Let's say you pay 13-5. Well, because they're letting you parlay it in the same game, well, they may only be paying 1.5 to 1, 3 to 2, or something.
Got it. They find an edge that way.
They find that's the perfect words. They find an edge, exactly. So tell me, though, so did you watch all the games last weekend?
Only the Cowboy game.
Wow. You didn't watch the Monday night game? You didn't watch the game?
I turned off the Cardinals game. So my buddy Chad McBain, shout out to my buddy Chad McBain. He can't wait to tag me on Instagram story posts when the Cowboys are getting demolished. And he's an Arizona fan, so I returned the favor when it was 27-0 or 28-0. And I just told him I turned the game off because I wanted to watch competitive football today, and that's obviously not happening with the Cardinals on the field. So I turned that game off.
Right.
But yeah, I was a little sour after the Cowboy game. I was a little, I take a lot of you can imagine my inbox based on how my football season goes with touting the Cowboys. So when it ends, it's like all of a sudden all the Giants fans, and the Niner fans, they have a field day with me over the Dodgers and the Cowboys this year.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And there are Raiders, or Las Vegas Raiders. I'll call them Arabs. I live there too.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Raiders went down, so I kind of feel bad. For that. They played a lot better.
Yeah.
You think about it. They played the same team. Earlier in the season in Las Vegas, lost by I think 21 or something. They got killed.
Yeah.
And here they went on the road to Cincinnati and came within I think 9-yard lines where the game ended. To tie it up and extend their season. So I kind of really felt bad for them for just personal reasons. My buddy's son is a scouting coordinator there. Felt bad for that. So, and in general, the Raiders had a hell of a season. They were only projected to win 7 games. So they did much more than that. And I was surprised to see they fired Murdoch. They fired the GM after the season was over, after they got to the playoffs. So I don't really understand that, but I don't know. I think I don't know what direction Davis is trying to take the team here. But
do you think Carr is going to come back? Do you think they're going to have Carr quarterbacking this team?
Yeah, I really don't.
Maybe Russell Wilson comes over.
Yeah,
I think they got to make a move.
Yeah,
I think they need a big name here. This now. I think being in Vegas, I think they gotta make a statement and bring in a name. Not that Carr's. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm not even.
Was good.
Yeah, but I think they need a marquee name.
Yeah. No, they got right. They came right up until the end there. I thought Cincinnati was definitely the much better team, and all of a sudden the Raiders came back. So I think changes are going to be made probably in the offseason here. We'll see what happens. But
do you give Cincinnati any chance to actually? I feel like they're the team that could win it all.
Sure. Well, I mean, they're one of the long shots, but if Burrow can play like he did this last couple of games of the season here, absolutely, they have some weapons, and I think Cincinnati might be even a decent long shot if you want to parlay the money line. There's a parlay you can make. So instead of betting a future, John, where win, let's say you like a team, whatever team you like, instead of betting the future, which is a heavily juiced market, you can actually take the money line dog like Cincinnati there, see what they are on the money line, and maybe parlay them this game with, and then hold that money, bet money line, whatever that money that is, and the profit, parlay it to the next game, to the Super Bowl game. Your ROI may be better than the whatever it is, 13-1 to win the Super Bowl or whatever.
Oh, interesting.
You may get better odds.
Right.
Just working it out in your head too.
Right.
We'll play next. What the line will be. It's not too hard guessing lines this time in the season. So therefore, when you guess the side, you'll guess that money line that goes with that side, and you can actually probably get better odds on a team like Cincinnati for the final result if they win the Super Bowl. So,
do you ever do stuff like that?
Sure. I'll do stuff like that. Sure, I'm betting into a market that's a regular market compared to a future market where the futures, like I said, they hold 25-50% on futures. So up to a ridiculous amount taken out of there compared to just taking it into a consideration where the money lines start at -110 on both sides, a 4.5% house edge. They do go up from there, but it's still much less than a futures pool. So
it's crazy. Like, even doing the show week in and week out with you, the science that goes into what you do, I'm always learning new things from you. It's really interesting that you know.
There's a lot of things that you have to think. I was talking about this morning. I did a show talking about live wagering. People love to wager to bet live, and I actually tweeted it out on Twitter, a copy of the show this morning. I'll talk about it here too, though, about how, again, our eyes lie to us. When people bet live, they live in the moment. So by living in the moment, they're immediately betting something based on the outcome they see in front of them. Whereas if a team is winning, they'll say, they score 7. Oh my God, they're going to kill them. I got to lay it. I got to lay it. I know it's more than the opening spread, but they're going to kill them. Well, actually, what you're watching is your eyes are lying to you a little bit. And then what I mean by that is the team winning is probably not as good or probably not playing as good as you think they are. And the team that's losing is probably not as bad as they are. Maybe it was a key player too. So therefore, but the bookmaker knows with anticipation which way you're betting. So immediately the bookmaker adds a little juice, a little tax onto the side of the favorite there. So you actually want to think opposite of what you think. And you want to be on the bookmaker side. You probably, after a team scores 7-0, you probably want to take the other team that's losing the game. Because, the
value, you're getting value, right?
Mean, value, extra half a point. The game returns to the mean. They're going to be competitive. They're pros. So that's just another little tidbit.
So do you try to find that edge during games, like during regular season as well?
I don't do a lot of live wagering. I would, but I really don't do a lot of live wagering. I do a lot of pre-flop wagering before the games kick off, like I said. But I just think it's just a good tip that I picked up from listening to the pros. And
did you just say pre-flop wagering? Like pre-flop. Did you just throw a little poker term into the? Yeah. I love it. I like it.
Yeah, pre-flop.
See, you still have poker roots, Bill Krackomberger. See,
I played a lot of poker.
Deep down, you still have love for the game.
Yeah.
I'd like to remind you, the World Series of Poker starts May this year, back to its old time, May, June, July. Maybe you come out of poker retirement. We play a tournament together. No way. No. I tried.
No interest.
Why? No interest at all?
Not really. No.
Man.
No real interest in poker like the old days. It's just so hard to sit down there with these kids looking up, looking down at their hand, looking up sunglasses, backpacks, headsets. I can't deal with them.
Now, will you play like a fun home game with the guys ever, or when you go back east?
I would do that.
You would?
I would do that. Yeah.
Like we could do a poker night, like me, you, Ellenberger. We get some, Julian Marquez. We do a poker night. Yeah.
I would do that. Sure, I would do that, and I would even play. My buddies, when they're down in Florida, I go to Florida. I go with them down to the casino for the day. I'll play some poker.
Really?
Some 1-2, 2-5 no limit, fooling around. Yeah. Yeah, sure.
When you sit down in a poker room back east, is everyone like crack like it is when I walk into the sports book with you? Yeah. That's cool.
But I'll be the sucker too, though, because I won't. I really, I'll just, be the sucker in the game, guarantee. And a no limit game, I'm not great at no limit. I used to play limit hold'em, high stakes though. But I like tournaments 2 years ago, but I just don't have the patience to sit down for after you get knocked out after 10 hours and you don't get nothing.
It's brutal.
10 hours, I can't get back in my life.
That's my entire poker career.
Yeah, it's most people. It's not just you.
Right.
People don't realize the juice in these tournaments and the juice at the tables.
Yeah.
Literally, there's so much juice. The house edge is tremendous in a lot of these tournaments. And then you have the players that are so much more advanced now, playing multi-screens and in Europe, and a lot against you.
While we're talking poker, let me ask you this: what are your thoughts on some tournaments you can rebuy, you can re-enter? Bad move? Like mathematically,
actually mathematically, you're supposed to rebuy. You're supposed to play more aggressive and rebuy. Look at like Daniel Negreanu. He'll rebuy 5, 6, 10 times during the tournament sometimes.
Really?
So
and
try to gain a big stack if he has to.
Play more aggressive on the first buy-in or on the second buy-in?
I would think you're playing aggressive the whole time at the beginning.
The whole time. If you can rebuy, just go for it.
Yeah.
Interesting. And is there a point when okay, stop re-entering? Is there a magic number for that?
I mean, for most people there are, but not for these guys that have the math worked out in their favor.
Right.
They know the ROI long term, as long as their bankroll can sustain it, it's better off just firing. Yeah.
Okay. So. Let's talk a little UFC real quick. So, last week I promised Giga Chikadze would be on the show. Unfortunately, the fight did not go Giga's way last Saturday.
Yeah.
The fight went the distance. I don't know if you watched or not, but the fight went the distance. He was the main event against Calvin Kattar, who's a beast in his own right. And Giga looked great round one, Crack. He came out crisp. His boxing looked good. His kicks looked good. He was way faster than Calvin. And then Giga threw a kick and he slipped in the middle of round one. And Calvin capitalized on it, ended up on top. And the second round, Giga just didn't look the same. And I think he might have pulled a groin or something when he slipped.
Right.
They've had a lot of people slipping in that cage at the Apex.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what's going on, but it must be a little more slick than when they're at T-Mobile or something. But unfortunately, it was a 5-round war. It got fight of the night, but all of the judges saw it. Giga losing to Calvin unanimously. And Giga was a little banged up, so he just didn't want.
Sound like you agree too, right? You agree?
Yeah, he lost the fight. Yeah, he lost the fight, okay. but mad respect. He went the distance.
Tough. Yeah.
It's tough. One guy's gonna lose, right?
After that, though.
Yeah.
We expect. What was the odds in the fight?
Giga was a pretty big favorite. He was minus 270.
Yeah,
he was a big favorite. And honestly, I know I'll take a lot of heat for saying, if he didn't slip, he probably would have won. But I'm telling you, Crack, if he didn't slip, he would have won.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. He didn't really kick much in rounds for the rest of the fight, which is why I feel like maybe he got hurt from the slip. And because his whole game is kicking, and so he kind of abandoned the kicking game. He threw some kicks, in rounds 2, 3, 4, 5. But not like normal Giga, and so I just feel like the slip maybe played a really big factor. But props to Calvin for pulling it off, and respect to Giga for a 5-round war. I think his stock didn't go down. If anything, I think you probably gain fans when you fight in the night in a 5-round war, and he's still maybe 1 or 2 wins away from a title shot. So I expect to see him back in the hunt for the title shot after he heals up.
We always wish him the best.
Yeah.
What's going on with this weekend? I see a big UFC card here.
Big card this weekend. The main event is Francis Ngannou, heavyweights, Francis Ngannou and Cyril Gane. Francis is actually the heavyweight champ right now, and he's the underdog, Bill. He's plus 120, at least as of this morning. Gane is minus 150. There's a lot of backstory between these two guys. They used to train together at the same gym, and Gane is a kickboxer by trade, and then they kind of went their separate ways, separate camps, and now they've been talking a lot of smack. And this is also the last fight on Francis's contract with the UFC, and he's been very vocal about being unhappy with his contract and the money that he's getting paid. So this might be his last fight in the UFC. We'll have to see what happens, but it would be kind of a crazy thing if he wins the fight and rides off into the sunset and doesn't sign with the UFC. I don't know if that's ever happened where a heavyweight champion defends his title and then leaves. I don't know if we've ever seen that. I can't remember ever seeing something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it would be kind of crazy.
Should be great.
Yeah.
What about the other one?
The co-main is Brandon Moreno against Davison Figueiredo. This is the third fight these two have had. They're 1-1 against each other. Moreno is the favorite, and I'll be on Moreno's side. These guys, they're flyweights, so they're fast. It's exciting fights to watch. Those guys, very technical and a lot of action. So should be a good card. It's in Anaheim. You're going to be in Anaheim this week? You want tickets? You going? No, not going. No. You will go to a UFC fight with me this year, though.
I will. Sure.
Is that verbally binding, that agreement?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah?
Why not?
Okay, maybe Giga's next fight, or maybe Julian Marquez or somebody we know.
Cool.
All right. Well, Bill, let's talk about crack wins. You know, you've had an epic season for football, one that you say you'll never repeat with 65% winning.
You know, I say the NFL. I said in the NFL,
right?
65% is a ridiculous marquee to shoot for. And we've had a great year in the NFL. NFL props, totals, teasers, parlays. It's been a great year, and you know, it's one that's hard to eclipse. So. College basketball going on. We had a nice little run here the last couple of weeks. Basketball is doing good. You know, we have golf matchups, great golf information. So, get with crackwins.com or the Crack Wins app. We got some good stuff going down, and you know, plan on continuing it. So, again, the last listen, since I opened the app, it's been a couple of years now. We're just destroying it. So customers all know it. They're you know, we got a lot of really happy people. And they've never been part of something where the line moves their way and finishes. You get CLV, closing line value. So, again, crackwins.com. And,
download the app today. You mentioned golf. Is it almost that time of year to have Casey Kerr back on? I like when he's on the show. He's got good stories, that guy. He's turned me into a golf, so I don't want to say fan, but I can tolerate golf now. I'm more intrigued by golf.
The Masters is less than 3 months away, so we'll see what happens here.
Do you think Tiger will be playing in that, or he hasn't said, right? He played in the father-son thing, but that's a different game, right?
Just playing it, just to, you know, playing it again to, you know, get back in the swing of things. I don't know if he'll be playing competitive golf again to that level. We'll see.
Have you ever gone to see golf in person? Is that anything you'd ever do?
Oh God, a million times.
Oh really?
Lots of the golf course. Yes.
Is it fun? It can't be fun. Is it fun?
I'm probably going to Hilton Head this year again. Used to go to Hilton Head every season. It's the tournament after the Masters, the Heritage Golf Tournament. It's fun. It's a relaxing week for me, and it's you know, pretty slow during baseball and golf, and it's a nice getaway. So I enjoy that. Yes.
Like people say, going to baseball games is like watching paint dry. Golf seems crazy to me to go and like they whack the ball and then you're stuck where you were, right? Or do you walk with them? Does everyone walk with them?
I'll just sit on the tee box and watch each pairing come through.
Okay.
That's fun for me.
Okay. Yeah, it is like there's food and all that stuff. Like are you?
Yeah, sure. Fun, sun, food. Yeah.
Standing up, or you get to sit when you're watching golf? Okay, you have you're Bill Krackenberger. Of course, you're sitting in a VIP section. What am I saying? Of course.
Yeah, I'm getting to see.
All right, folks.
Like a sucker.
Download the Crack Wins app, or just go to crackwins.com, or it's on Apple, it's on Google Play. You know the drill. And since you do know the drill, let's talk a little WSN. Some still crazy bonuses out there, huh?
I get excited when I talk about these bonuses. I get excited. WSN.com has some really good ones for New York right now. Caesars is a $3,000 bonus.
That's crazy.
DraftKings, Caesars is $3,000 to sign up. You sign up, you put $3,000 in, you get a $3,000 bonus. Now we have the New Yorkers. Everyone's talking about New York. John, matter of fact, last year, New York State, upstate New York, the brick and mortar locations did like $175 million for the year. The first weekend on mobile, they did 150. The state weekend.
That is crazy.
The whole year they did 175 at the 4 casinos that are booking bets in New York, and the first weekend did 150 million once you're able to do it on your phone.
And the state gets a crazy chunk of that, right?
51% tax in New York.
So they've got to be sitting there going, "What were we doing all these years? Like, why were we against this?" Right? Like that is crazy money.
Yeah,
every month.
There was definitely some juggling back and forth though, but they're now finally look at the state guides here. Each state, you can just click on the state guides on WSN.com. There's the New York ones. So FanDuel, $1,000 risk-free bets, $3,000 at Caesars, like I told you. BetMGM's $1,000, DraftKings $1,000. And listen, I love DraftKings. I love these sports books. These sports books have been good to me, and they take my bets and I got to tell you, they offer more ways to bet sports than a lot of places in Las Vegas. So,
wow.
This is a great way to sign up in New York. And you don't have to be just in New York, of course. New Jersey, Illinois, West Virginia, Indiana. Go on and go on. I go on and go on. The site has all the latest bonuses. They've negotiated some great bonuses with these sports books, but also the great articles on WSN. Not just all of our podcasts, by the way, are on WSN. latest prediction and odds, the latest news, U.S. sports betting news. I love that. I love this part of the site. DraftKings and Barstool push Florida sports betting measure petition. This is interesting. Florida is going to be big once it goes across Florida. So it's good to see these big sports books involved. There's articles about, speaking of New York, there's an article on WSN about New York freezing that 51% sports tax rate for now. It's interesting. There's some court of appeals happening. It's been so successful in New York, though. There's 3 articles right there on that. Many articles on Super Bowl futures, NBA betting, sports betting news. Everything's there right at the touch of your button there, guys. WSN.com. Grab those good bonuses. They're great.
You mentioned Barstool. Have you ever met Dave Portnoy? Have you ever met him? The head guy at Barstool? I'd love to have him on the show sometime. Maybe he would be fun to talk to. He seems like a cool guy.
He's real good with people. He seems like he's really nice to people.
Yeah.
You remember where he came from, blue collar. Yeah.
Like, how are we not having pizza with him when he comes to Vegas? Like, we need to go to pizza with him. Take him over to our buddies over at IDK, right? Get an official review in. Yeah. Well, Bill, Bill, this was as always a fun show. When are you back in Vegas? Are you coming back here anytime soon?
I don't know yet. I'll let you know. I may come back. I'm spontaneous. I just jump on a plane.
Whenever you feel it.
Happens. Yep.
Like Super Bowl Sunday. Do you know where you'll be for that?
Maybe back here. Maybe Jersey. I think Jersey. I'm not positive yet. I'll get back there.
One last question for you before we go. Do you think we'll ever see the day when you could bet on any sports betting site while you're in Vegas, or no?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. Oh, yeah. The DraftKings and FanDuels will be there. Oh, they'll be there for sure.
Really?
It's just a matter of time. Yes. They're negotiating with gaming and with the
because
state.
It doesn't hurt. It's like, I think you've said it before. Yeah. People want to touch the money. Like it doesn't, right? There's some people, it doesn't matter. You can have the app to bet on. It doesn't matter. They want to go into the casino. They want to get paid today. You've said that before, right? That's part of the culture.
No, it's true. They like touching the money when the games are over.
Right.
But,
all right, good stuff.
Good stuff, John. Good show.
Yeah.
And good time to wrap. Thanks everyone for listening and watching. And we'll see you next week on Wise Kracks.